Hi there, my name is Potatoes953, and welcome back to my channel, the home of an asshole who has far too much free time and looks way too much into these video games. So, today we're continuing the Chronicles of the Valkyrur, so here we go. Alright, it's been, in the time that has passed since the founding of Ruzi, where we are in the timeline, Ruzi has eaten up all of its neighbors to where its borders were from Gallia to Jutland. We are going to focus on one specific war for a bit, the Rus-Jutland War of Liberation. For about 100 years, this war was essentially unheard of up until an up-and-coming history student who lived in Jutland decided to chronicle it. The Jutland War is the first time alchemists empower Ragnite for mass production of vehicles and weapons, kickstarting the Ragnite Industrial Revolution. The war started when Rus invaded Ipsaria. This was a massive Ragnite mining country, so basically all the great powers disagreed with the annexation until the Emperor of Rus basically said, "You're a bunch of hypocrites because you're doing the exact same thing down south in the down under continent known as Afronasia." So they quickly shut up. After Ipsaria was annexed into the Rusi Empire, they sanctioned and embargoed Jutland. These led to a border dispute. One thing leads to another, and next thing you know, a newsboy is yelling, "War with Rus, read all about it." The anti-Valkyrian squad invaded a Rusi scout company and killed one of the Grand Generals, is how the war started. Before we go too far deeper, we should talk about the anti-Valkyrian squad of Jutland, often referred to by Rus troops as the Princess Platoon. They were an elite squad of alchemists led by Major Amleth Gronka. What a beautiful name that is. One of the people that would be later known as the Five Traitors. They were equipped with experimental weapons meant to combat the Valkyria Rus was rumored to have. These weapons were ranged from swords to rapiers, and they all were made by melting down holy relics. Because the only way to kill a Valkyr, the blood of the Valkyr, is with her own weapons. And so, boom, you've got an anti-Valkyrian squad. Basically, every nation at the time who did not have Ragnite stores did this, melting down their holy relics, which is really unfortunate because now we don't have any of them left in museums, only in certain nations like Gallia and in the Federation. Let's quickly talk about the Five Traitors that I referred to earlier, because they are the most important thing to understand. They were men and women from different fields. Basil Sabansi, man of industry. Solomon Kallenberg, man of diplomacy. Violet Sand, mistress of espionage. Frit Erkson, man of the people, and Amleth Gronka, man of the army. They each helped out not only to start the war, but win the war. After the war, they were not praised as heroes, but war criminals, and were executed. And as their last request was granted, they are buried in the fields outside of the capital, as if to watch over the nation they saved. The actions of the anti-Valkyrian squad and Five Traitors are important as it leads Rus to expand westward rather than southward, leading to the coalition of nations, leading to the formation of the Western European Federation, and in response, the Rusi Empire formed the East European Imperial Alliance. What a tongue twister that is. But that is not yet to happen. There is still a war to fight. The actions of the five traitors were carefully crafted to be most effective diplomatically and militarily. Basil managed to turn all factories into full Ragnite assembly lines. Solomon worked in the government to try to make all the actions reasonable and legal on the international stage. Frit managed to gain support from the entire fucking nation somehow, paired with the fact that the Princess of Jutland, Ophelia Augusta of Jutland, what a tongue twister, being in Groundcare's squad, lead to extreme public support for the war. It was his idea to liberate the Duchy of Isperia, which really didn't work out because they eventually joined the Imperial Alliance, but that's beside the point. Violet was probably the more interesting of them all. Violet Sand may not even be her birth name. She was said to have at least an upward of 20 aliases at once. She was able to appear in a spot, establish herself, then disappear, like Bigfoot, if she needed to. She was so effective of an assassin that she managed to kill a pro-Rusi prince in Jutland without anyone even being able to find the fucking body for 6 months after, much less find the murderer. So after the war broke out, she had a field day, which caused so much communications errors in Rus's military that the Juddish army basically just walked into the occupied country of Isperia with virtually no resistance. Amleth, being the leader of the most important squad in the army, was a bit miffed when Frit told him that he would need to babysit a princess, but regardless, it needed to be done so he did it. He wasn't in it for glory, he was in it for revenge. For the Grand Generals and the Emperor had killed his parents and burned down the orphanage. What an amazing start. This man not only went after the Grand Generals, but fought one-on-one against the Valkyria, to whom he had fell to as a teenager. He sought refuge from the Rusi Empire after being named a criminal of the state after attempting to kill the emperor. To say that least, that would be a bit of a reason to be a criminal of war. The Grand General fought many battles, but eventually the emperor called for an armistice after the great powers threatened them, of course. Because, of course they did, because welcome to 18th century Europa. Or to 19th century Europa. This is what the Circle of Five wanted and got. The Juddish-Rusi conflict eventually would lead to the international coalitions, which eventually lead to the erasure of the borders of Europa, aside from small duchies, and of course the Federation and the Empire. So, post-recording, there aren't very many images of these events, so you just get some body cam footage of the Federation Special Forces training in their little tubes. So yeah, there ain't very many images around to use, and any of them that do exist are hard to find, and a lot of it is classified by the Imperial Alliance. So, yay. So yeah. Thank you for watching my the second part of my bullshit history video. On the lore of Europa. This one I kind of more so got lazy, but I decided to, in that, I didn't really want to go searching through the internet, for images from Valkyria Revolution, because nobody fucking played that game. Except for me, because I'm a fucking nerd. And that's why it's, kind of a side note. The next few videos will be much meatier. Because I'm talking about, European War 1 and 2. So expect those to be a bit longer and a bit, and you'll see them in a few days, probably. There will probably be no videos next week due to, the holidays, so, yeah, have fun. Anyway, subscribe to me. I kind of decided to, add that whole thing about, the, images, into my character, and my Call of Duty gameplay into my character. So, yeah. Subscribe. Check out how games can teach, geography. 'Cause nobody fucking watched that video, apparently. That was a fun video to make. So I don't know why the hell people aren't watching it. Anyways, subscribe. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic life. Goodbye.